Hi, I'm Gary from Wahoo International. We're the makers of Solarez, ding repair products and board production products. We're going to do a really brief repair of a common ding in a surfboard, a rail smush. And I'm going to use this product here, the fiberglass reinforced Solarez. We could use another product to repair it, which would be maybe a more professional way to do it, and that's the micro balloon filled putty. It's lighter, it's easier to sand, it's still watertight, but it's going to leave a matte finish. And what I'll do with this product is leave a gloss finish, and the board would be ready to ride in 3 minutes. This is a similar product to this, however it is for epoxy boards. This product, which is a polyester resin, will melt epoxy boards. And the foam core in particular, the styrofoam that they use, or they call it EPS or a number of other names these days. This resin would be compatible with that styrofoam, and as a matter of fact you could probably use it for polyurethane blanks as well, the old style Clark foam. This is a repair for boogie boards. It's very, very flexible and very, very tough. And that's to repair polyethylene or polypropylene boards. But some of the newer body boards have styrofoam cores, and you can't use this for that. And this is a product for repairing wetsuits. It's called Neorez. Similar to the SpongeRez, but much, much more supple and softer, elastic, something that you'd want close to your body on a wetsuit. You wouldn't want to repair the seam on a wetsuit with something hard and tough like that. So let me just do a very quick prep on the board by removing the damaged fiberglass and sanding around the perimeter and putting on some masking tape. This ding has several areas that are obviously broken, and just some that are pushed in. And it was a glossed finished board, so virtually nothing sticks to it. The resin's going to want to stick to the foam or a sanded area along the perimeter. So what I'm going to do is I'll remove the pushed in glass, because that glass is good glass, but it's glossy and nothing's going to stick to it, and it'll just cause problems later. So this piece is a good piece of fiberglass, but it's not going to do anybody any good now. So I'm going to remove that. And that one. Inside the kit comes a sanding pad that is roughly 80 grit on one side and 240 grit on the other. So I'm going to very aggressively go around the perimeter of that ding, because you want the resin to bite into the foam, as well as about 1/4 inch around the ding. I'm just going to tape it off now, fill it with resin, put a cover sheet of plastic over it, and expose it to the sun. Okay, so the board's taped off, the ding is taped off to just the extent of the ding itself and a perimeter of about 1/4 inch beyond. What I'm going to do right now is fill the ding with hopefully exactly the right amount of resin to just fill the volume that the void takes up. And then I'm going to put a piece of clear plastic over it, tape it to the board, and when I pull the plastic around the edge, the plastic will mimic the contour of the rail. Then I'll expose it to sunlight. It'll cure in about 1 minute. It cures in much faster time if you have the plastic on it. Gently peel off the plastic, and if I'm lucky, I have no sanding to do whatsoever. So again, using the fiber-filled polyester resin. This is a urethane board. This was a Clark foam board, and I'm going to fill up the ding, hopefully, with just the right amount of resin. And remember, this resin does have fiberglass in it, and it has ceramic fibers in it, and it has a thickener in it so it doesn't drool, and it has UV stabilizers in it so it doesn't yellow. And all around, it's a very, very strong product. So once you do repair your board, you should not have to repair it again in that area. The resin is thick enough to stay where you put it, but it's thin enough to move around. I can see a bubble in there, so that means I don't have enough resin. Put a little bit more. There. Now I have not only enough resin, but a little bit too much, and it's going to go out. You can see the flange, the flashing of it going out here over the tape. And that's what the tape is there for. So the resin looks good, the ding looks great. I'm just going to put it in the sunlight for about 45 seconds. We have a really good UV index today, and it should cure up very, very quickly. The resin's going to have a gloss finish on it because the plastic that we put down is a glossy plastic. This is an acetate plastic. It's not the best to use. The best thing you can use is Mylar, and that's what they wrap roses in. If you go to 7-Eleven and you get a single rose, that's what they wrap them in, and that gives you a really, really glossy finish. When it's glossy, it means it's dense. There's no surface pits, and it'll be resistant to degradation over time. And if you really, really carefully pull this off, the ding is done. You could go surf on it right now. I'm going to remove the masking tape now while the resin is still not quite cured. That way it'll come off easier. But that's nice and cured with a glossy finish. I don't know if you can see the sunlight there. And the contour of the board is there. You don't have to spend like half an hour or 45 minutes sanding at it. It's done. And remember, this resin was cured for about 45 seconds. So it is not completely cured yet. The reason I'm doing that is, number one, to show off one of Solarez's fortes, which is you can start and stop curing whenever you want. It's at B stage right now. It's about 45 seconds cured. It's about halfway cured, and it remains at that stage. When you resume curing, when you have everything done the way you want it, you can go out and resume curing and take up where you left off. And if you get a phone call and whatever, if you have to go get lunch, come back an hour or 2 days later, it is still at that stage. Then bring it out in the sun and resume curing at your convenience. So that's the repair of a rail ding using Solarez fiberglass repair putty. And you can see more of videos like this or the entire product range at solarez.com. So that's Solarez, the speed of light.